Welcome to Desire. Fashion chain H&M gets an haute couture makeover from Victor and Rolfe. A slice of bacon breaks a record at an upmarket contemporary art auction. New glasses from Belgium help people see the bright side of life. And a very desirable residence goes up for sale in California. But first, a good way to stay a step ahead of the shopping herd is to book an annual ticket to the European Design Show. From Formula One cars and top fashion to innovative lighting and ceramics for the home, this exhibition examines the cream of technology and design before it goes into production, giving visitors the heads up on the must-have products of tomorrow. From childhood, we're warned not to let electricity and water mix. But young British designers Michael Cross and Julia Mathias decided to tackle the taboo head-on, coming up with a new concept in domestic lighting.
When you look at it here, it looks like an installation because it's big and it's in a museum. And so right now, right like this, it is an installation, but the intention is absolutely that you can take a part of it and put it in your home. And there's not really any problem with having that. You know, we have them in our houses, or we live with them, they're fine.
The latest computer design and testing technology has produced the world-beating McLaren Formula One racing car, along with its equally carefully crafted engine. While the world of fashion is seeing a rebirth of individuality in design after the homogeneity of global branding, the exhibition is deliberately organised in such a way as to explain the development of design and the evolution of particular products. As well as sections devoted to graphic and print design, there's also a major focus placed on innovative, functional and sustainable packaging design.
Very often people come to museums and they just see a finished product without any real notion of how it's been created. And so what we've tried to do with these design stories is really deconstruct that process and explain to people just how an object can be made and how there are many different ways to get to the same end result.
The Dutch ceramic designer Helle Jongerius has an eye on the past, using 17th century designs to give her pieces a more permanent quality. The exhibition shows how designers across Europe are striving to get away from transient mass-produced items to more individually crafted pieces. Most of us may not think of a former communist country as a centre of affluence, but there was no shortage of big spenders at Russia's second Millionaire fair held in Moscow. Eager to cash in on Russia's growing number of millionaires, businesses lugged their pedigree stallions, vintage cars and designer furniture to an exhibition hall for the show on the outskirts of the Russian capital. The Cuban cigars, watches, martini drinks and impeccably dressed salesgirls inside the Moscow exhibition hall contrasted sharply with the rundown suburbs that surround it. Almost a fifth of Russia's 142 million people live below the poverty line. However, the wild capitalism of the 1990s and then high world oil and metal prices have brought huge wealth to an elite tier of new Russians. There was a strict dress code. Men were supposed to wear tuxedos, whereas women had to be dressed up in beautiful evening dresses. According to one local newspaper, some visitors were overwhelmed by the opulence of the fair, with one female needing to be hospitalized due to luxury shock. While another visitor reportedly purchased an island over the course of the weekend. I think this is the most expensive and best piece of porcelain on sale today. It's the Princess on the Pie, based on Andersen's fairy tale. Moscow has 25 billionaires and 88,000 millionaires according to the Russian edition of Forbes magazine. That compares to the average Russian income of about $5,000 a year. But residents of villages and small towns where unemployment is high earn even less. The fair featured 250 stands touting every luxury item that might appeal to Russia's rich. A Bugatti Veyron, the most expensive and probably most polluting car on the planet, was sold for $1.4 million. 19th century horse carts, Hummers and helicopters were also on sale, while gold-layered tableware or decorative porcelain proved a big hit among the visitors to the fair. This is the second time Moscow has hosted the Millionaire Fair, which was first held in Amsterdam in 2002 and has also been staged in France, Belgium, China and the United Arab Emirates. Organisers estimate the fair attracted some 10,000 visitors every day, fulfilling the event's unofficial tagline, "Millionaires of Russia, Unite." After visiting the fair, Moscow millionaires with room left for a little more indulgence may want to pop round the corner to Salon du Chocolat. True paradise for chocolate lovers, it displayed samples of some of Russia's most delicious chocolates. But the show is not just about satisfying people with a sweet tooth. Chocolate art in all its colours and sizes is also on display, including a white chocolate statue of Russia's President Vladimir Putin. The show also included a chocolate fashion show featuring confectionery garments. Mohammed Debi worked together with a designer to make a dress covered with chocolates.
There's a painstaking process to put piece by piece the chocolate.
The show was at the exhibition centre located between the Kremlin, Red Square and the Gum, Moscow's most luxurious department store. Salon du Chocolat is an international event held in different cities around the world. It makes its regular rounds through Paris, New York and Tokyo, but will break new grounds with events in Dubai, Madrid, Shanghai and Geneva over the next 2 years. The 4-day function is an opportunity for industry professionals and chocolate lovers alike to brush up on their chocolate knowledge, industry trends and the latest in cocoa delicacies. There are tastings and chefs' demonstrations at a huge variety of international chocolatiers' stands. Opportunities to sample and buy goodies such as truffles, chocolate-dipped fruit kebabs, hot chocolate and cakes, as well as chocolate fashion, sculpture and art are all on offer. Exhibitions include the history of chocolate, books on chocolate and desserts, as well as an antique collection of teapots used exclusively for hot chocolate. There's also a Chocoland for children and devoted adult chocoholics. Coming up, Victor and Rolfe. Victor and Rolfe recently teamed with leading fashion retailer H&M at an extravagant fashion event in Bel Air.
I actually shop at H&M when I'm in New York, so I'm very excited that we're now going to have one here in Los Angeles. And I think it's a great merging. I'm a huge fan of Victor and Rolfe, and I think it's great. I think it's great that such huge designers like them are coming up with this line that is more affordable for people who can't go out and buy the most expensive pieces.
The estate's front lawn was decked out with white rose petals, oversized white bows, and a just-married white 61 Bentley.
Tonight I mixed my H&M clothing up with a Fendi bag and some Gucci shoes. So believe me, I do head out to the other stores, but actually I'm all about being affordable, comfortable. I love the chic sexiness of H&M. I can find anything in my wardrobe, from gray pajamas to underwear to something hot and sexy like this. I love what I'm wearing right now.
The designers posed for pictures with model Raquel Zimmerman.
I'm wearing H&M Victor and Rolfe tonight. So straight out of the closet this skirt actually, because I have tons of H&M and basically the majority of my wardrobe is filled with H&M. So when I found out about this tonight, I figured let's come and celebrate and see what's coming up next season.
Inside, after a full orchestra played hits by Beyoncé Knowles, Madonna and Michael Jackson, the catwalk models got down to business, showing off the collection. Dutch designers Victor Horsting and Rolf Snoren started their careers in 1993, when they won the High-Res Fashion Festival. Through exhibitions, installations, haute couture shows and women's ready-to-wear, they've received international acclaim as one of fashion's most innovative labels. Now based in Paris, they have a cult following. In 2003, the Fashion Museum in Paris presented a 10-year retrospective of the designer's work. 2 years later, they opened their flagship store, Golden Corner, in Milan. They were the first designers to be contracted by L'Oréal to develop a perfume, which was called Flower Bomb. They're known for their high-concept fashion shows. At one launch, they presented a collection of balloon-filled clothes based on the atom bomb. At another, one model wore large porcelain accessories, which were smashed during the show. In their babushka show, they dressed model Maggie Ritzer in layer upon layer of couture dresses, piled on top of one another. The H&M show was an extravagant way to display the new collection of stylish wear for both men and women. When Victor and Rolfe agreed to design the capsule collection, they were quoted as saying, "If haute couture is the most sublime form of fashion, H&M is fashion at its most democratic. For us, fashion is an antidote to reality. It's a great opportunity to communicate our vision with such a large audience of H&M devotees." The Victor and Rolfe for H&M collection was built around a fashion love story, with everyday pieces like jeans, tops, knits, jackets, coats, evening looks, accessories and underwear, rounding out the best for less clothing collection. The one-off collection follows the hugely successful collaborations between H&M and Karl Lagerfeld in 2004 and H&M and Stella McCartney in 2005. Both collections reportedly caused a high street riot, with everything selling out in a matter of hours. The show was filled with chic trenches, sharp tuxedos, heart motif blouses, full of skirts, and of course, the duo's much publicised wedding gown. The celebrity audience gave the designers a standing ovation as they joined Raquel Zimmerman on stage, and white confetti floated over the crowd. A bouquet toss and cake cutting followed. Some of the world's most desirable contemporary art came up for sale at a record-breaking auction at Sotheby's in New York, highlighting the current art market boom. It caps a bumper season in which Sotheby's and Christie's combined haul topped $1 billion. The auction star was unquestionably Francis Bacon's version number 2 of Lying Figure with Hypodermic Syringe, a powerful 1968 work by the provocative artist, which ended up selling for over $15 million. The Irish artist's career took off with the critical success of his 3 studies for figures at the base of a crucifixion in 1944. He lived most of his life in London among other artists, also with writers and Soho eccentrics. He died in Madrid in 1992.
$400,000. The bid is on my right with Daryl. Thank you. So.
This is a large, full-size picture from the 60s, which are very, very hard to come by. It was the first painting by Bacon sold to a Belgian collector in 1970. And it really, once it went into that house, the Von Turnhout home, it really has not been seen publicly since it went into the collection in '70. So it was a very exciting piece to have in the sale, and it was obviously, it did well. We had estimated at 9 to 12, and it brought over $15 million.
Bacon's work was one of 27 being sold from the noteworthy Van Thornau collection, all of which found buyers, most for well above their estimates, with many breaking artists' records. The collection's $42 million total beat even the high estimate by some $7 million. and went a long way towards assuring the success of the sale overall.
8,000,005.
Other highlights included Willem de Kooning's untitled XXX, which at $10 million achieved the sale's second highest price.
At $9,500,000
Liechtenstein's black and white Sunrise went for $6,600,000.
At $9,500,000, fair warning, selling then for $9,500,000. Thank you, Daryl. And
Another artist who's been riding high on the crest of a wave over recent years is Andy Warhol, who had 3 works included among the top 10 lots, led by flowers. It's one of the pop artist's seminal images, and it fetched nearly $7 million.
$4,900,000, $5,000,000, $5,900,000, $6,000,000, $6,100,000. At $6,100,000. Bidders on the telephone against you 4 at $6,100,000. Thank you, Jamie.
The sale realized nearly $126 million. That's just shy of the record we had in the spring, which was $128 million. So we're extremely happy.
New records were set by Piero Manzoni, Anish Kapoor, Isamu Noguchi, Dan Flavin, Carl Andre, and several other artists whose names are less prominent in the high-stakes auction arena. Among the few casualties were a pair of major works that included Roy Lichtenstein's Head Yellow and Black. The sale's second highest priced work, it drew no bids beyond $7.6 million. Coming up, light therapy. Who wouldn't love their own pair of rose-coloured glasses? Well, a company in Belgium claims to have gone one better with a new light therapy product designed to combat seasonal blues, which could revolutionise our way of life. But asked what they thought of the futuristic-looking glasses, most were bemused. It's a bit of a strange look. It's a bit like a Martian. It's not really common these days. It's a kaleidoscope ride.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, it does. Yeah, it does work.
It's more of a Japanese thing than an Italian thing. If I were on my own wearing these, maybe people would be a bit surprised and ask themselves, who's this walking Christmas tree with these glasses on? Well, now I can see you better now. However, proponents of the luminettes say they should not be seen as a mere gadget or fashion item. Françoise Collignon, who demonstrated them at an air traffic control centre that gets no light, says luminettes are a serious medical aid which should neither be abused nor taken lightly. The new technology behind them took 4 to 5 years to develop at Liège University Physics Department. Vincent Thoreau, together with his mentor, Professor Yvonne Regnault, began by shining a red beam of light through an initial prototype lens. Thoreau shows that the light is concentrated in one area, representing the eye. But what they needed to find was a way of diffracting the light so as to ensure it always hit the retina, whatever the eye's movement. They also had to direct the light in such a way so as not to blind the wearer by concentrating the beam on the part of the eye which does not correspond to vision. We found a system which allows us to place the light source outside the field of vision, but which brings back the ray towards the useful areas of the retina, thanks to a diffractive component. Therefore, this will have 2 effects: the effect of deviating the rays, and secondly, to focalize them through the pupil. Small but intense light nodes were then placed above the holograms in a light spectacle frame. Thoreau says the most effective light to act on the brain is blue light, but that too much of it can negatively affect the patient. Therefore, the nodes include green and orange to make the product safe. At a diet therapy store in Brussels, where she's selling the glasses to help people eat less, Collignon says the holographic innovation not only diffracts the light source, but also sends a more concentrated level of rays into the retina, making the luminotherapy more effective. Light boxes normally put out rays of 10,000 lux. The glasses concentrate more light in the eye with just 2,000. We're trying here to optimize the effect of light. Normally we need 10,000 lux. Why do we only need 2,000 lux here? Well, because, and this took 5 years of experimenting and research at the Liège University, physics engineers thought about putting a hologram in front of the light, and this is what is at the basis of the whole concept. So it's a hologram placed on a plastic shield. There's a layer of resin inlaid with the help of a laser ray to create a whole series of small lentils, which increase the amount of light rays at the level of the eye. Of course, light therapy is nothing new and has long been used extensively in Nordic countries and Canada, where light is scarce in winter. They were first used for seasonal depression, but now they're also being used for non-seasonal depression, for chronic fatigue in multiple sclerosis, for premenstrual symptoms, and for tiredness related to postnatal depression. So there are a lot of areas they can be applied to, as well, of course, as jet lag and people who jump across time zones and who need to reacclimatise to a new time. Christophe Hubert, who works at Eurocontrol's Health and Safety Department, says the glasses could be good for fatigued workers, especially those who work in a dark environment. It's true that employers are more worried these days, in a more general way, about the health and safety of workers in relation to stress at work or in their private life. All these things have an influence, and they can't be separated. And if it works, if there's proof that it works, then why not? Yes, I find that people don't have the same energy at the moment. For example, in October, it looks like it's a difficult period to live through. People are tired. They have problems in the morning. They come in as if they've been boxing all night. So yes, I think we need to regenerate ourselves with this kind of machine. Marion Verzu is confident that once people get over the futuristic look of the glasses, they'll use them and feel the benefits quickly. In fact, she thinks the design is a plus. Well, it's in fact very modern because it's high technology. At the beginning, they were a bit surprised, but I'm sure that soon we'll see everybody wearing these glasses. And whether or not Luminet do actually work, the future certainly looks very bright for distributors Lucimed, who soon hope to expand to Canada and the United States. We'll leave you with a quick glimpse of a tempting offer in California. For those with a few $1 million to spare, it's a luxury oceanfront home shaped like a seashell. The Portobello estate has been put up for sale for $75 million, making it one of the 3 most expensive residences currently for sale in America. The 30,000 square foot custom-built futuristic home includes 8 bedroom suites, ocean views from most rooms, and a 2-story grotto.